because I teach high school kids how to use computers and do stuff, and that's kind of easy. But I'm not sure about elementary school kids. This is the first time I've done something like this. So it might go great or it might totally implode. Okay? So we're just gonna hang on and see what happens. You guys ready to give that a try? Right? So we're gonna just kind of give this a try. It may work, it may not, but I'm hoping it will. Okay? Because it's gonna be kind of fun if it does work. All right. So first of all, you all know what pixel art is, right? You've been looking at pixel art, and I put some examples on Class Dojo, smiley faces and hearts, watermelon, a little pig, a little fox. Okay. And then there's this pixel grid. Okay. And the one thing that if you wanted to, hang on one second, Christina. If you wanted to, you could print this pixel grid and you could just color those squares in with crayons. And you could do pixel art, kind of like the old-fashioned way, print this and just use crayons and markers or whatever. That would work. And then I found this great video where this guy shows you how to do pixel art with crayons or markers in his case, and he's making a cat. And there's a link down there for that. So that's kind of like using the old school art materials like crayons and pencils and markers. And that might be something you might want to try if you like this. What we're going to do is I'm going to get started and I'm going to show you something first. And then I'm going to share it with you, and hopefully we all can get in it. And then we're going to be making some art. Okay. So like I told you, today is one of those days that's either going to work and we're going to have fun, or it's going to totally implode. Okay. So I'm going to share with you something that looks like this. And you're like, that's kind of boring. You got just squares. And you got these words. But in the end, down here under this line, we can start making our pixel art. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to show you how it works. All right. So this is called a Google Sheet, and I'm going to share it with you, and hopefully we'll get it opened up and we'll make our own copies. And once you get that, these colors have numbers that correspond with them. So the color pink here is number 1. Blue here is number 7. Black here is number 31. Okay, see how that goes? So the color matches the number. So if you were going to use the color yellow, who can unmute themselves real fast and tell me what color that is?
19.
What color?
19.
19. So what color or what number is red?
25.
25. What color is... I forgot to put white on here. Orange. How about orange? What color is orange?
22.
22. So the idea is the number matches the color, right? Okay. So these little squares, we're going to be coloring them in. And in sheets, they have a silly name. They're called cells. That's kind of a silly name, isn't it? I'll make that a little bit bigger. Okay, so these little squares are actually called cells, but that's okay. So if I accidentally say a cell, I just mean a square. All right, because that's what we call them in the high school. Okay, you're going to type a number inside that square, and then we're going to use our arrow keys. So see how I use my arrow keys? I can move things around. Okay. So the trick is typing a number and then using your arrow keys. You know how to use your arrow keys on your Chromebooks, right? That's easy. So I'm just using my arrow keys to move things around. Now, if you wanted to, you could click in any one of these. That works too. Okay? And you see it's selected. All right. You ready to see how I drew my yellow smiley face down here? All righty. So let me get back. I'm going to back out a little bit so we can see this. And we know I'm going to do something with pink first. Okay, so we draw under this line. So if I click in that cell, what number is pink? 1, right? Whoops. Let me make this bigger again. So you can,
1.
yeah, 1.
1 is in a lot of
Okay.
clubs.
So if I select a square, I could select any one. If I select a square and I type the number 1 and I move to the next square, it turns pink. So when I type the number 1, I move to the next square, it types pink. So I'm using the 1 and my arrow keys. And you can see how we can start making a cool picture. Now, what do you think happens if I type the number 2? Is it going to still be pink or is it going to be a different number?
Different color.
Different color, right?
Different.
I forgot. What color did we say yellow was?
19.
19. So if I type 19,
It changes.
move it,
There's a yellow color.
there's a yellow square.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look up at the top. What color is black?
31. 32.
31 and 31 is one.
Fine. If I type 31, whoops, I typed 1 and made a mistake. Oops, I made a mistake. If I go back to it and type 31, it changes. So if you accidentally, and I can skip some, I can change this one. Whoops, where's the little ones in the background? There we go. If I type the number, let me get back here, 31, and I move, okay? Or if I type 19 and move my keys, you can see how those squares change colors. Give me the thumbs up if you think you understand all that. I think you making art is going to be okay, and typing those numbers down there, I think is going to be okay. This is the part that we're going to be in the weeds on. I got to get this document to you. Okay. So up here on the top, there's file, and then there is make a copy. My people who have a copy made, did you start typing numbers down here? And is it working? All I want is a thumbs up. So my people who can have numbers and they got colors being made, I want you to make some pixel art. And if you run out of room, you can keep scrolling down. You got that whole, you got 1,000, you got lots and lots of space. The only problem is all your color numbers are up on top. Okay? You could always write the numbers on a piece of paper if you wanted to. So what I want you to do is make something pretty, and we'll share them in a little bit.